Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Today's story includes relationship problems, pregnancy, miscommunication, bad friends, and entitled people. Let's start. Am I the idiot for being upset that I found out my wife was pregnant via social media? I'm 29, and she is 27. We've been together for 4 years, married for 2, both from the same hometown, but currently living in a different city. She's at our hometown for a family event, and I stayed back due to work. We've been trying to get pregnant for 3 months, and now it's happened. The problem is the way I found out about it. My friend congratulated me by posting a screenshot in our group chat, a screenshot of an Instagram story posted by one of my wife's friends. Ouch! The post was my wife crying and hugging some of her friends, with the caption, "You are going to be the best mom." I called her right away, and she answered pretty quickly, saying, "I have news, babe." All I said was, "I know, you're pregnant." She replied, "Wow, babe, how did you know?" I just said, "Saw it on Insta, didn't think to call me first, huh?" She said, "What?" I didn't post anything. I responded, "Yeah, but your friends did. That's one way to find out I'm going to be a dad, thanks," and I hung up. I was furious. She kept calling me, and I didn't answer, until my sister called shortly after. My sister asked me what was going on, because she just arrived at my in-laws' house, and everyone was freaking out, fighting, and my wife was locked up in her room. I told her what happened, and she said, "There's no way she would do that." I replied, "Well, she did." My sister said she was going to find out what was going on. A little later, my sister called me back and explained everything. At that point, I'd calmed down, thinking it was just a crappy friend who decided to post without permission, but my sister filled me in on the details. My wife was late on her period and, while hanging out with a friend, they thought, "What if you're already pregnant?" So they bought a bunch of pregnancy tests, all of which came out positive. They freaked out, told her parents, and then texted some friends in town to come over. From the time she found out to the time her friend posted on social media, only 2 hours had passed. My wife told at least 10 people before telling me. Yeah, that sucks. For the record, my sister told me that the argument going on when she arrived was because the other friends were upset with the one who posted it. Apparently, they all thought it was a shitty thing to do and were mad at her, but they also couldn't understand why my wife hadn't told me sooner. I finally called my wife, and she was crying. She apologized and said she'd been planning to surprise me, which was why she hadn't told me yet. I was skeptical and pointed out that if she'd really wanted to surprise me, she wouldn't have been ready to tell me right when I called. She went silent, and I told her I needed some time to think. She yelled, saying I couldn't just walk away and that we needed to talk about it. I replied, "Why do we need to talk? So you can lie again?" And I hung up. A ton of people have been messaging me, but I'm honestly exhausted. I don't know why, but this has drained me. I've cried randomly, which is unusual for me. I'm not a crier. This isn't supposed to be a huge deal, but it feels like I've been hit by a truck. My sister sent me a message that really stuck. "Hey, I know this sucks, and it was crappy of her, but don't let this ruin it for you. You're going to be a dad, you're going to be an amazing dad, this is great. The only thing keeping me going right now is knowing that I'm going to be a dad. I've dreamed of this, and all I hope is that this baby is healthy." I'll probably swallow my pride and pretend I'm fine just to avoid making my wife too emotional during the pregnancy, but I'll do that tomorrow. Tonight, I'll just sulk. You're not the idiot, OP, you're absolutely right to be upset about this whole situation. I'm upset for you. Your wife kind of messed up when she decided to tell other people before telling you. Even if her first thought wasn't to call you the exact moment she found out she was pregnant, which is really weird, it should have been at least after she told her parents, and definitely before texting her friends to come over and celebrate your baby. I don't know what your relationship is like, so I can't say if this is a common behavior of her, but, intentionally or not, she messed up big time. And the worst part, she tried to cover it up with lies. Why didn't she just admit that she messed up and forgot? It was a huge disregard to you and shitty attitude, yes, but I believe it wasn't intentional. At least, I hope not. And even if OP was still upset, he would at least have her apologies and they would try to move on from there, but her lying made everything worse. Also, what kind of shitty friend does she have? Who steals someone else's pregnancy announcement? What the hell? There's no excuse for that. So not the idiot OP, but this will have to be something that you will have to find a way to forgive. It was painful, but you will have a baby, and you will have to move on. This whole situation sucks, but it is what it is. And at least she's not diminishing what you're feeling, or pretending like it wasn't a big deal and that you have no right to be upset. At least she admits she's wrong. And unfortunately, we know that there are people who would gaslight you to the end. And what do you guys think about this whole situation? What would you do in OP's shoes? And what advice would you give to OP on how to deal with this situation? Now let's read the comments before going to the update. That's some shitty behavior indeed from that one friend. Who the hell steals a pregnancy announcement? Damn, that actually sucks. Only way I would be on your wife's side here is if she was planning on doing some kind of surprise to get your reaction, but you catching her on a lie pretty much ends that possibility. All I can say is that I hope your baby is healthy, and good luck with fatherhood. Not the idiot, and my thing is, she was so excited she told everyone, but you. Called her parents and random-ass friends, but not you. Her husband, partner of life and father of her child, I would be hurt and also it would make me question things. You should have been one of her first thoughts, not last. He wasn't even last, she never called him, he had to call her. Not the idiot, but she's not even seen a doctor and people are already using, quote, because she's pregnant. Pregnancy is not an excuse to be a shitty person. What she did was totally dismiss you, as a father and as her husband and partner in this journey. You two definitely need some counseling before the baby gets here. And do you agree with the comments? Would you say something different to OP? Now let's go to the update. Edit/mini update. I posted this, thinking nothing of it and woke up to thousands of comments and dozens of DMs, holy shit. Thank you so much for caring. Just to clarify a couple things. 1. Do I think the baby might not be mine? Classic Reddit LOL. No chance she cheated, she works from home and we have home security cameras inside the house, so that's not happening in our house. She does not do girls' nights. Her best friend in the city we live in is a female coworker of mine and we hang out the three of us often. They text each other a lot, but almost never hang out one-on-one. If they do, it's at our house with me in the next room. Also, my wife is the clingiest person alive. Like, when I'm at work, she texts me every 30 minutes, and when I'm at home, she is always at least in the same room I'm in, if she isn't cuddling up to me. When we are out, she is always holding my arm, my hand, literally does not leave my side. I honestly actually love it most of the time, I feel loved. But it is too much sometimes, and we had a fight about it weeks ago. I even questioned if this fight was the reason she didn't tell me right away, but it's probably not it. 2. On her friends, they are all very nice people, I've known them for a long time now. My sister is part of the friend group, and some of them have been friends since they were like 12. My wife is the only one that lives in a different city, so they always hang out a lot when she is in town. I cannot emphasize enough how out of character this whole situation is for her. She has many flaws, like every other person, but being inconsiderate is not one of them. That's why I woke up in the middle of the night with a feeling like I'm actually completely wrong on this, because she would not do this on purpose. There is no way. So I sent her a text just saying that everything is fine and that I will drive the 4 hours down there to talk. She was actually awake and asked if she could call. She did and said she wanted to come home. I said that I was going over there to pick her up, then she asked, "Are we okay?" I just said yes, and she started to cry. I told her that I'm very happy, and I'm dying to see her, but we will need to talk about it. She calmed down a bit after that. That's when I opened the post again and saw all the comments. I asked for a day off, and my boss was fine with it, so I'm actually going to my hometown right now. Well, OP, I'm glad you guys made up, but you weren't wrong to be upset about the situation. It was a pretty bad one, so unless you threatened to leave her because of it or something, I don't think you were in the wrong. But I think the important thing now is to move forward for the good of your marriage. And do you guys agree with OP's decision? Do you think he did the right choice? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's read the next update. Update: Am I the idiot for being upset that I found out my wife was pregnant via social media? Hello again, things have settled down now, and I feel like I have all the information, so I'm here to give y'all an update. When I got to my in-laws, my wife was sitting on the sidewalk waiting for me. She jumped on me and kept apologizing, just hugging me and saying how sorry she was. We went to her room, and I told her I was really tired and wanted a nap before our talk. We slept holding each other. When we woke up, our talk felt like an endless circle, me asking what happened and her saying that she was stupid and that it was her fault. She kept saying it didn't matter what happened because she screwed up a big moment in our lives. I kept asking, but she just repeated that she messed up and that nothing else mattered. Eventually, she said she didn't want to give me excuses and that the right thing for her to do was take responsibility and apologize. I eventually gave in, told her she was forgiven, and said everything was fine. Still, I went to talk to her friend, the one who was with her all day and bought the pregnancy test with her. Her story was that right after my wife tested positive, they spent about an hour freaking out and talking about ways to tell me or surprise me. Eventually, my mother-in-law got home, and they told her. Together, they decided to invite their girlfriends over to discuss ways to tell me. The friend went over all their ideas, and I 100% believe her. She also said it was discussed with the group that I didn't know yet, and that they should all keep quiet for now, because we hadn't decided when to announce it. She says the one girl who posted it on Instagram absolutely did it on purpose. She had been told not to say anything to anyone, and, at that point, they were even discussing ways to tell me with her. The picture she posted was taken when another friend had just arrived and heard the news. For some reason, she decided to post about it right then and there. Apparently, when they confronted her, she initially claimed she didn't know she wasn't allowed to post it. She stuck to that lie for a while, but eventually, she just told everyone she didn't give a shit and left. She blocked everyone in the group, and we haven't heard from her since. No one knows why she did it. They don't know if she's jealous of my wife or something else. At this point, we don't care. She's blocked on our end too, and we want no contact with her. My sister later confirmed the friend's story. When she first called me with details, she was under the impression my wife had just told everyone and forgot to tell me. But after talking to other friends and my mother-in-law, she told me basically the same story. I was also told by the friend I spoke to, my mother-in-law, and another friend that when I called my wife, she basically said, "Screw it, I'm telling him right now," and was super excited to do it. Me and my wife talked again during our trip back home, now with me having most of the details, and she told her side, basically identical to what my sister and the friend told me. She was again very apologetic and kept saying that I'm her #1 priority, and that this was one of the dumbest things she has ever done. We have a couples counseling appointment next week at her insistence. I honestly don't think it's necessary, but she believes I need a space to fully express my feelings. She's worried I forgave her too fast and that I'm bottling everything up. Honestly, her concern about my feelings is already enough for me to forgive her, and chalk this up as a one-time thing. We also had our first appointment with an obstetrician, first because it's obviously the right thing to do, but also because many people warned me about the risks of miscarriages in early pregnancy. My wife's last period was about 6 weeks ago, and the doctor said it was a bit early for an appointment. Still, they ran a bunch of tests and confirmed my wife is indeed pregnant. So far, everything looks fine. Thank you all so much for caring about a random stranger. Seems like things worked out. That's great. Honestly, I think you were completely right with that one friend. Just block her from your lives and forget about it. No reason she will give you will bring you any satisfaction or joy. Just forget about her. Yeah, honestly, never really liked her, never said anything because she was friends with my sister for a long time, and it didn't matter to me, but now I know my gut feeling was correct. I'm glad this ended well. I've been thinking about you too. I'm glad you two are no contact with the friend. She sounds like bad news. Hopefully, the entire friend group cuts her off. I don't see how anyone could trust her with anything after this. Some people just have to find a way to make every story about them. The entire friend group has blocked her back, there are stories coming out of her shit-talking everyone behind their backs, and other stuff like this. They are all done with her. I understand your feelings and I have a lot of respect for your wife, and the fact that she is worried you forgave her too fast and recommended counseling. To me, that really shows me you are her focus, instead of trying to push it under a rug. I don't think she meant to hurt you, although that was the end result. I think you both have the capacity to work really well together as a unit, especially with counseling. I wish you the best with the upcoming baby. I think we are a very good team too, and we can get way better as this episode has shown, but we just work. I love her, I know she loves me, and everything up until now had been so easy. This was just our first challenge, and we will continue to work through it. In your original post, your sister told you that the friends didn't understand how your wife hadn't already told you, so that makes no sense if they were discussing surprising you. It also doesn't explain why your wife had locked herself away. If one friend had done that, then that friend would be thrown out and everyone else would be comforting your wife. This seems more like they got their stories straight and your wife is a horrible liar and that's why she didn't want to tell you and got someone else to do it. Your sister wanted you to forgive your wife, so maybe her story is different now for that reason. This doesn't make sense to me, but I'm just a stranger online. I guess I didn't explain it correctly. Their reaction was more like, I don't understand why she didn't just tell you, because the news itself is enough. There wasn't a need to make a big plan. Most of them were just like, I think you should just video call him. Other plans involved finding a way to get me to come over to town and throw a party or something like that, but most of them thought she should just tell me. And apparently that was the reason that when I called she was ready to do so. To me it makes perfect sense, and I trust my wife. Well, like I said, I'm happy that OP and his wife are able to work things out between them. And OP's wife actually has a crappy friend, just not who I was expecting. I believe everyone thought that the person who posted the photo was the friend with whom she had taken the pregnancy test. But either way, I'm relieved that you guys got rid of this envious person of your life. But guys, if you find out you're pregnant, tell your partner first, and if you want to make a surprise announcement, like OP's wife, please only call 1-2 people at most. I know she had good intentions, but learn from the OP's wife's mistake. I know she believed she was telling to a friend, and she never thought that this, quote, friend would do something like that, but still, just so that something like that doesn't have the risk of happening with you, don't do it, just don't. And what did you think of this update? What did you think of what this, quote, friend did? How would you deal with her? The same way as OP and his wife did? Or would you do something else? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.